We all know that working abroad and being an OFWs are not permanent, and these are just temporary, and that I mean we cannot be an overseas Filipino workers forever. Our body will deteriorate, the time will come that we no longer have the energy to work, so all of us will retire eventually. However, before thinking of going back home for good, have you ever asked yourself if you are financially ready to go back and retire? Hi, my name is Gabriel, and if you're new to this channel, I make weekly videos regarding personal finance, tech gear reviews, travels, and other fun interesting stuff. So at any point in this video and somehow you like this content, please click that like button to help me reach more and more people about this content. Smash that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on that notification bell icon so you'll get notified every time I upload new videos. If you guys are active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, you can also follow me there as well for our latest activities and updates. Today, we're gonna talk about retirement. It's going to be the time of your life when you are supposed to just sit back, relax, and do whatever you like. Maybe enjoying sipping a glass of pinacolada by the beach in Boracay, no more annoying boss or colleagues breathing down your neck. But to do that, let's face it, you will need money. Lucky for those people or for an OFW who are debt-free and has an emergency fund still intact, plus have secured life insurance when they were younger and have built a multiple earning assets which they can use on their retirement, like stocks or equities, mutual funds that are possibly earning from dividends and price appreciation, or you have real estate properties that are possibly earning from rental income. The name of the game here is passive income, which means this is the money you've earned or you will earn, which doesn't require you to do a lot of active work to continue making it. So if you have all of those, probably you can retire now as early as 45 years old or anytime you want, if you know that those investments that you have can sustain for you without the need for a job to work for. You have to remember that the best person to take care of the older you is the younger version of yourself now. However, I realize na hindi lahat tayo may ganong financial IQ or privilege in life, since not everyone would fall into the same situation. We all have different circumstances in life. Maybe one gets to keep all his earning and able to save and invest their money, but on the other hand, one has to support his family all throughout his entire career and entire life, end up having without savings at all. So for some na wala talagang any assets to back up their retirement, walang investment, walang insurance, at walang emergency fund, plus the worst part is hindi nila nahuhulugan yung monthly SSS contribution nila consistently and regularly. Or the worst is hindi talaga nakapaghulog. Well, now I guess don't retire just yet and just start building a savings program for yourself before you decide to retire. So the question is, how long and how much money is enough for our retirement? Over the years, the idea of retiring with 1 million pesos has been a milestone of achievement. But is it really enough in today's standard? Well, it depends on a few factors. What's the inflation rate? What kind of retirement lifestyle do you want to live? And how long will you live after retirement? And so on and so forth. Let's start by discussing about lifespan. Say if you have saved 1 million pesos and retire at the age of 60, if you live up to 75 years old, that means 15 years. So with 1 million pesos savings that you have, you can spend about 5,500 pesos each month for the next 15 years until your retirement fund runs dry. Do you think 5,500 per month is enough? Then what happens if you live up to 90 years old? Thank God no if we can still reach that age knowing that we don't have that kind of money to retire. In that case, you can only spend around 2,300 pesos a month to make sure your 1 million pesos retirement fund doesn't finish before you die. Considering that you don't have to worry about your medical maintenance or basically health-related needs, also considering you can avoid accidents to avoid emergency and medical expenses and all other expenses. The point is, the longer you live after retirement, the less amount you can spend each month as your 1 million pesos retirement fund is spread thinly across longer years. Then let's talk about retirement lifestyle. If you plan to live the high life and spend like a high roller after retirement, your retirement fund will likely run dry within a short period of time. We know already that if you save 1 million pesos retirement fund and you think you live up to 15 years after retirement, you can only spend around 5,500 per month. While although this amount per month for one person, it's not some kind of poverty or difficult life. but it's certainly for sure not some kind of luxurious lifestyle as well. At least for the PSA, or the Philippine Statistic Authority report in 2015, said that a family of 5 actually needs a minimum of 9,140 on the average every month to meet both basic food and non-food needs. Ang tanong, PSA, kaya ba today? Paulit po ng report. Well, going back, if you end up spending 10 million pesos a month, you will finish for sure your 1 million pesos retirement fund in just about 8 years. Then probably by that time, we can start going back again to work in McDonald's or start borrowing money from your friends or your children. It's likely not gonna be a good option. And finally, the inflation. If you are not retiring this year but a few years down the road or many years down the road, you have to take inflation into consideration. See, 1 million pesos 10 years down the road is not the same as 1 million pesos today due to inflation. So let's just assume that a standard inflation rate is 4% each year. So how much is 1 million pesos worth after 30 years down the road? It will only gonna be 293,857 pesos. So from 1 million pesos down to 293,857 pesos na lang. Now, what does that mean? To understand more about inflation, let's put it in this way na lang. So if you have 1 million pesos and you can buy this basket of groceries, 30 years later, your 1 million pesos can only buy you less than 30% of the same basket of things. Your buying power is reduced to 70% over 30 years. Now, what does this all mean for your retirement? Remember, we said that when you retire today with 1 million pesos to spend across 15 years after retirement, you can spend around 5,500 per month. If it's 30 years later, that 5,500 will only have the buying power of 2,300 pesos as of today's standard. So imagine this. If you were to retire today and you only have 2,300 pesos per month to spend, will you like that kind of retirement lifestyle? So by now, you probably realize the importance of retirement planning. While it's not as straightforward as we might want it to be, but we should include consistent planning financially, as there are quite factors to be considered, and there are also factors that are not on our control. So when you're planning for your retirement lifestyle, you have to decide on what kind of retirement lifestyle in the future you wish to live. If do you have a plan to have a glamorous retirement lifestyle where you dine out more often, or if do you have a plan to have a second home near the beach, or if you do have a plan to travel overseas every year, and also if you have planned to move into a smaller apartment or house and cook more at home and just stay at home. Well, every lifestyle decision that we make will likely involve money, and therefore, it will have a direct impact on the amount you need for retirement. So first, try to estimate how much you will need to spend living on that lifestyle based on today's standard. Don't forget to take into consideration other factors such as tax, insurance, and other obligations. Now, once you have a rough estimate of how much you will need to spend a year after retirement, take that amount and find out how much that amount is after considering inflation. If you want to retire 30 years later and you want to live a lifestyle that spends 80,000 per year after retirement, then take into consideration the 4% inflation. That 80,000 per year lifestyle will actually cost 259,000 a year. Now, since you know how much you need to spend per year after retirement, it's time you to find out how much retirement fund you need by the time you reach that time of retirement age. One of the most quick guides calculating the retirement fund you need is called the Rule of 25. That is to figure out how much you need per year in retirement and multiply it in by 25. So in this case, taking into account inflation, you will need to spend 259,471 per year in retirement. Take that number, multiply by 25. That way, you roughly get around 6,500,000. That means, you need 6,500,000 as your retirement fund 30 years down the road. It certainly sounds like a very big number, right? 6,500,000. But the good news is, you got 30 years to live after retirement. And the good thing about the Rule of 25 is the retirement fund that you plan for will never run out as long as you invest it in an investment with around 4% return a year. Meaning to say, it doesn't matter how long your lifespan is. You will be fine as long as you follow the plan, at least theoretically. So is 1 million pesos enough? What do you think? Tell us in the comment section down below. I hope you learned something new in this video. If you do, please click the like button to help us reach more and more people about this content. And hope to see you in the next video.